All right, welcome back to the channel. So Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachanko, George Kambosos, that's the topic of this video. It seems that the George Kambosos Lopez fight is a wrap, and there's a very good chance that Teofimo Lopez might actually get forced into fighting Lomachanko. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. There is a saying that God don't like ugly, and I think that the God in this particular circumstance that we're talking about is Bob Arum and the WBO. There is speculation that the fight, that there is going to be a fight ordered before too long, and that is a rematch between Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachanko. And I'm telling you right now, if it happens, do not be surprised. I think that this was foreshadowed a while ago when Bob Arum didn't take too kindly to Teofimo Lopez playing with his money. And now that that fight has paid, the Teofimo Lopez's escape route is falling away. You can pretty much bet that Bob Arum is going to make true on a promise that he made to Teofimo Lopez just last year. Now, just to give you the details of it, Teofimo Lopez was ordered to fight George Kambosos as a mandatory for the I do believe it's for the IBF mandatory, and the IBF are sticklers about people defending their mandatory. However, Teofimo Lopez would not accept a certain amount of money from Bob Arum and actually just agreed to the fight. So Teofimo Lopez forced the fight into purse bid himself. As a result, Triller won the purse bid. I think the second place finisher in the purse behind them was Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and then after that was Top Rank. But with after a whole lot of back and forth and a bunch of canceled fight dates, positive COVID tests and all that, the fight, Triller has now said that they are not going to be involved with the fight between Teofimo Lopez and Kambosos. That they have defaulted, and they have not only that, they've also asked the IBF to take away George Kambosos's his mandatory status. And see, I don't know why they would do that. It seems to me that the IBF would just go to the next best bidder, next highest bidder, which is Matchroom. And then after that, if Matchroom wants to default on it, go to the next highest bidder, which is Bob Arum and Top Rank. But after all of this stuff has gone back and forth, I wouldn't be surprised if the IBF just moved up another mandatory instead of George Kambosos, because it was actually George Kambosos at the end of all of this stuff that didn't agree to the fight, didn't agree to a fight date being moved. So, but the important thing to understand though is that in this whole time frame that George Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez have been talking about fighting, Vasily Lomachanko is actually fought, and he will have fought a second time pretty soon against Richard Comey, and is now currently the WBO's number one ranked fighter. And Teofimo Lopez has not defended his WBO belt yet, and that puts him in a prime position for Bob Arum to do what Bob Arum is great at doing, which is to get the WBO to do what he wants to do. And I think that very well may be making the biggest fight that he has available for Teofimo Lopez, and in-house, which is Vasily Lomachanko. If you don't, and to kind of illustrate how that's happened, recently, that the Sean Porter fight, out of the blue, Sean Porter was ordered to fight. Terrence Crawford, who had the WBO belt, was ordered to fight Terrence Crawford, a fight that Terrence Crawford initially did not want and said, hey man, only way I'm gonna fight you is if you get in a position to become my mandatory. That situation seems very, very similar to what's going on with Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko wants that rematch, and Teofimo Lopez is saying that he's not going to voluntarily give him that rematch. So the only way that Vasily Lomachenko can force that fight is to become the mandatory. Now, originally, I don't think that Bob Arum was really looking for a rematch between the two of them. I think originally he was setting up Teofimo Lopez to be his big star and was not going, and as a result didn't put a rematch clause in the contract between Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko. And that's why Lomachenko doesn't have a rematch clause. But after Teofimo Lopez did this, got cute with Bob Arum and decided to force him into a purse bid where he lost that fight, Bob Arum actually swore that he's like, man, you're going to wind up regretting that down the line, right? So Bob Arum was clearly not happy about it. And also, when you do business with somebody and they jerk you over, you tend to feel suspect about them going down the line. So that Bob Arum and Todd DeBuff and those guys trust in Teofimo Lopez as far as being, like a guy that they know that and they can trust, that they can deal with on a regular basis. That trust had to be eroded because Teofimo Lopez put them in the position that they put him in, right? Where if he would have worked with them and taken a lower purse and all that, I think Bob Arum and those guys would have continued to try to develop him just like he's developed other fighters like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Oscar De La Hoya, all those guys. Once Bob Arum sees you as being a future star, he's going to give you more and more big fights. Now, you may not get the big money that you want to get, but you will get the fights, right? But Teofimo Lopez tried to cut to the chase and get out of Top Rank and go straight to the big money. And now that is all falling through, I think Bob Arum very well may be interested in getting him beat and getting Vasily Lomachenko, a more consistent and reliable fighter, back on top. And he has the power to do that with the WBO and Vasily Lomachenko being ranked number 1 with the WBO and ordering that fight. Now, the other thing that Teofimo Lopez said he wanted to do, which Bob Arum can stand in the way of, is this fight that he says he wants to have with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is 100 and he said he wanted to do this fight in a way that didn't make any sense. He said he wanted to have a catchweight fight with Josh Taylor where they could have all of the belts available, all of the belts on the line, but it doesn't work like that with a catchweight. Josh Taylor can't win a 135-pound belt weighing 138 pounds or 39 pounds, whatever the catch weight is. Now, Teofimo Lopez could obviously win 140-pound belts if he was weighing 137 or 138, or if he weighed in at 135 for a 140-pound fight. But it just doesn't work the way that he wants to do it. But more importantly, Bob Arum has been very adamant about wanting to make the Terrence Crawford versus Josh Taylor fight. And also, Josh Taylor is more than likely going to be moving up to 147 pounds because he's already a big 140-pounder that has been there for a while. And Josh Taylor is talking about fighting Terrence Crawford. So I think that's the direction that Bob Arum is trying to do that, man. So all in all, man, I think Teofimo Lopez really talked himself into a corner. Not all of it is his fault as far as the Kambosos fight not going off. At least the last part of it is. But he probably did put himself in a real bad way with Bob Arum and Todd DeBuff and those guys by playing games with him in the first place. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.